Dear ones, for many years I have said that this new energy, there can be no more fence sitting. And what I mean by that is you cannot claim to be one thing and then go out and be another. It has many names, but the fence sitter is the best. There are still those of very low energy on the planet, still in survival mode, still trying to get their way, who have no concept of this empathy. And it's the empathy that will eventually wipe out those who don't understand it or have it at all. In other words, love will prevail. You are starting only to see that now. It is the beginning of a new era. The astrology you heard today pinpoints that. Let me give you another phrase. There's no more fence sitting. You're either with them or you're against them. And we're talking about the light of the planet. Old soul, you wouldn't be in the room or listening to this unless you were with it. Understand that this army, if you want to call it that, of light, is growing also exponentially, and it doesn't necessarily those who believe in what you believe. We're talking about common sense. We're talking about decency. We're talking about love. And you don't have to be enlightened to know about love. That's what's happening. But your light on this planet right now is creating this. It's the engine for the rest of them. That's why you sit here. That's why you listen to these channels, because you can feel it. That's why perhaps you'll temper your words to be a little different than before, so as not to offend. To understand that whoever is standing in front of you, no matter what you disagree with or agree with, they are a creature just like you, with a soul that is made from love. And what is going on? Not necessarily just in this room, but within old souls and humanity in general, is the upheaval of change. The thing that you are starting to see the most is what I will call the exposure of the white hats and black hats. No more fence sitting is what we have told you is upon this planet. And the darkness is starting to show clearly. Whereas before it was muddled in the soup of grayness, you might say, of your very existence. You might have lived for 20, 30, 40 years on this planet and been part of major conspiracies, of Illuminatis, of control, and never really truly understood it because it was in the grayness under the hood. And now it's not. And suddenly you start to see it and you react. And what that's going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is it's going to create choice that you never had before. And that choice overwhelmingly, we've seen it, is going to be for the light. Integrity and transparency. And it starts with upheaval. It starts with things that don't make sense. It starts with a dark army that cuts people's heads off and wants to create horror and sorrow and darkness everywhere. A country, not a country-based army, but one that has no borders at all. First time, a dark army without borders, without a common language. We've said that over and over and over so that you'll see it as unique to your time and right on schedule. The knee-jerk reaction to the dark over light is that they must survive at any cost, and they're going to climb out of the woodwork. You're going to see it everywhere. It's going to come in many disguises, outrageousness, change, and it's already among them. Those here know it, and it's in everyday life. You're going to see light workers that are having to make decisions. You can no longer, we talked about this last time, you can no longer subscribe to these kinds of energies and then go out of the room and live differently. That is a paradigm that you have gotten used to, dear ones. And the paradigm says that you go to worship and you dress for it and you sing songs and you kneel. And then you go home and you get in your regular clothes and you're somebody else. And you do that for year after year and you call it acceptable, never understanding it's not even real. And now it gets real. What do you believe? Do you carry it into your life? These are special times. They're times filled with more black and white than you've ever seen before. Have you noticed that your emotional ups and downs are getting larger? Have you noticed there's really no more fence sitting anymore? Nobody can keep secrets in the government anymore. You're having things exposed right in front of your face. You can see the white hats and the black hats very clearly. That is going to increase. The sides are being drawn, and I said they would be. I said there could be no more fence sitting. And you're starting to see it now. Things are coming to a head. You can't sit around and do nothing. You must take sides. And those who don't take the sides will be seen as weak. And the sides that you're going to take is that either a high consciousness of what is going on this planet or the same old, which is the energy of darkness as always the way it was. The cycle is not going to repeat the way it always has. Do you see the black and white? Do you see the darkness of consciousness that doesn't see God inside? Now you're starting to see what we talked about for so long, the separation, no more fence sitting, the knife that literally cuts duality so that you can see which side of the fence individuals are on. Light is winning and will continue to increase on this planet. Inside you is something we're asking you to awaken, that human beings really have not understood. And in this shift, it is something that is yours beyond that which it ever was before. It's going to be easier to find it. It's going to be more difficult as you go forward with others around you, because there's no more fence sitting. We told you that. It's going to be difficult to stay uncommitted more and more. Right now, things are happening we told you might happen if you passed the marker when I got here 26 years ago, and they're happening. And one of them is this: you cannot sit on the fence. You either are connected in some way to spirit with intent, or you're not. And you can't pretend. You can't pretend. Your body knows. This is not a punishment. It is a system. It's a system of beauty. It wants to harmonize that which you do and is ready to help. You sit in a world where many are learning there's no more fence sitting. You can't be on the fence with these kinds of things anymore. You're either compassionate or you're not. You're either willing to go to these esoteric thoughts or you're not. And you can't then ride the fence and speak one way to one person and another to another. You'll be torn off the fence completely. You have to be in one camp or another. This is the new energy, especially for an old soul. So watch for these kinds of things in this energy. But I just gave you the future. It's the field. It's enough for now. And so it is we give you these things so that you may know them. and you will cognize them at your own pace. You will discern whether this message is accurate or comes from a human. You will feel the energy or you won't. That is the free choice that is always yours, to take whatever is given to you and assimilate it or not. But dear ones, let me tell you something. You can't assimilate part of it. It's either all of it or it's none. And so it is.